Syracuse Orange fans, can you feel the heat?
Welcoming you in here, Juice Nation, with yet another episode of Orange Heat. My name's Giovanni Heater, as always. Thank you for joining me. Before I get right into it, I want to have everybody out there go and add the Twitter and the Instagram at GeoHeater. It certainly helps out a lot. Get active on there. Like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube so we can get this thing going even better than it's been. We got a good show for you here tonight. We're going to talk the Northeastern win, and then we're going to dive right into it because it's Georgetown week, baby. Woo! You guys all know what that means. It's time to destroy some Hoya. So we're going to get into that later on in the segment. But first, Syracuse defeated Northeastern Huskies 72-49 on Tuesday night in the Carrier Dome. Our Orange improved to 6-2 on the season. The biggest thing for me in this game was everybody contributed. You know, some people can beg to differ. I've talked to a lot of people about this throughout the week, but I believe that we played very well. Some people think there's always things that can be better, but I think personally there was a lot of hustle, there was a lot of heart, there was a lot of integrity, and we played really well. I gotta say, guys, I feel like there's a whole nother presence out there with the lineup they were playing with. They were playing with some different lineups on Tuesday night. Jalen Carey and Buddy Boeheim played good chunks of the ball game. They were in there a lot with, an O'Shea Brissett, but then you had like Elijah Hughes, and it was just a young lineup, exciting to see. And as we'll get into later, we really didn't need Tyus Battle this week, and that was very, very exciting. So, Syracuse started off hot in this game, and I do mean hot. We went on a 10-2 run to start the ball game in just the first 3 minutes of action. Syracuse never puts up 10 points in the first 3 minutes of action, so that was absolutely phenomenal there. Northeastern plays a 2-3 zone. We practice against the 2-3 zone. So that certainly worked to our advantage. We know how to get penetration on the inside. We know the back cuts are always going to be an open opportunity. We also know that three-point shots are going to be a specialty when you're playing a 2-3 zone. So we really executed well in those areas. Elijah Hughes responded well to a big disappointment against Cornell, and he started off the ball game beautifully with a big three-pointer from deep, just one of our first offensive possessions, absolutely drilled it. So really good to see him coming off of just a 4-point game last week to starting off hot here against Northeastern. O'Shea Brissett led all scoring for the Orange. He's going to earn our Orange Heat Flame of the game. I know everybody loves that. We're going to get something going with that. We're going to have fire come up from the ground, or we're going to have candles lit or something cool. I don't know. Maybe not. Just an idea. O'Shea ended off the night 21 points and 14 rebounds, so that was a nice double-double out of him. The double-double machine, as they like to say. He also hit 2 3-pointers, and he shot 7 for 15 from the field, so a nice showing out of Brissett. As I said a few minutes ago, Elijah Hughes played phenomenal in this ball game. He followed O'Shea up with 17 points in just 29 minutes, so didn't play the entire game there and still dropped 17 points. He went 6 for 11 from the field, and he hit 3 3-pointers when it was all said and done. So a beautiful performance out of him. He consistently, I think, is our best player on the court, to be quite honest. We know what the others are capable of, and as far as one-on-one situation, O'Shea or Tyus might be that guy. As far as a clutch shot needed, it might be that guy, but you can't beg to differ if someone says Elijah Hughes has been the most consistent scorer on this team, and he's also played some very stellar defense as well. So he's just fun to watch. That as simple as that. He is just fun to watch and very exciting. Buddy Boeheim showed us his capabilities. He had 11 points in just 18 minutes here tonight, and he had some more playing time than normal, probably because he was performing at a high level. He had 3 3-pointers. So exciting stuff out of Buddy Boeheim. I've been saying how he's been struggling so far this year, so he kind of made me eat my words a little bit. And there's somebody else on this team that also made me eat my words, and that is Pascal Chukwu. I want to get this out there, guys. So, some people brought it to my attention, and I also thought about it. I could have chose better words for my way to describe Pascal's performance thus far this season, and even going back into the last few years as well. So I just want to throw this out there, guys. I'm very sorry for that because, you got to think, I guess I'm just, you know, he's just a person, and I know if somebody were to say something like that about me, I play sports and stuff, I wouldn't respond that well. And, I don't know if he's listening. Maybe he was. Maybe that lit a fire under his butt. Who knows? It would be really cool if they listen, but I don't think they do. But nonetheless, you never know who you're going to have to run into later on in life. I could be Pascal's partner in something, and he's going to be like, remember that time? You know what I mean? Just grudges aren't good, and you got to choose your words carefully. You got to think he's just a college kid out there on the floor. So did want to apologize for that. I said some rude comments about Pascal that I wanted to take back. And I appreciate him for showing me up and shutting my mouth because he did perform in this game. He put up 8 points and 7 rebounds. Now we just got to keep it consistent. Showed us you can do it, Pascal. Consistently do it. He did get 3 dunks in this game. He hadn't gotten any all season, so it was good to see him. Clearly the backdoor lob was open. I know one was thrown up to O'Shea. 2 of them were thrown up to Pascal. Good stuff there. Good stuff there. Robert Braswell got his first action in an orange jersey as far as the regular season goes. So that was awesome. Got some decent action in there. He hit a corner 3, and he also hit a few free throws to tally up 5 points on the board. So good stuff out of Robert Braswell. As I said, I think he could be very good down the road. Just needs some time to develop. So exciting there. He was a 3-star kind of last-minute recruit that we were able to snag up after the Darius Baisley situation. Let's touch on that real quick. Sorry, Baisley. Doesn't look like we need you, And I almost feel bad for the kid. He had a golden opportunity to come to Syracuse University. More exposure than he would have gotten anywhere else. And now he just withdrew from the NBA G League as well. So I don't really know what he plans to do with his career. I know he signed a shoe deal with somebody. I think it was New Balance or something like that. But it's just we didn't need him. And we almost glad his negative attitude's not here. It might have been a me situation, but we don't need him. All right. So Robert Braswell, I think, is a decent addition to this team. Frank Howard, he's still getting into the groove of things. All right. He's struggling. He's struggling a little bit. I think he needs a little bit of a confidence booster here. He just went 1 for 5. Let's talk about his injury for a moment. Frank Howard, as we know, suffered an ankle injury. And I really like what Jim Boeheim said in the press conference, and it almost kind of hits you right here. He said it's really unfortunate. He said Frank Howard over the summer, right before the season got going, before his injury, was playing the best basketball he had ever seen Frank Howard play. He was making every single shot. He was getting to the hole. He was playing good defense. And it's just disappointing that it had to come to this because it's his senior season. Guys, think about how deadly we're going to be when he is 100%. We're already putting up big numbers with him out there, and we could be playing huge if he's in there. Talking about that real quick, I saw this out there on Twitter. I believe it was Orange Fizz put this up if you want to hit them up on Twitter, at Orange Fizz. So kudos to you guys. They put these numbers all together. Syracuse with and without Frank Howard. So, without Frank Howard, we have a record of 2-2. Field goal percentage, we're shooting at 38%. 3-point percentage, we're shooting at a dreadful 20%. Now, talking with Frank Howard, we're a nice, crispy, clean, perfect 4-0. We're shooting 47% from the field. And our 3-point percentage has gone up 17 to 37%. Clearly, even if he's not scoring the ball, he has a presence out there. Whether it's a leadership presence, whether he's passing, dishing the ball away nicely, something's there. Something's making this team click better with Frank Howard at the helm of this offense. So that was exciting stuff to see right there. Jalen Carey, man, that kid hustles. There's nothing else you can say that. Did you see his block? In the corner, he had a nice block. Someone took a 3 on Northeastern. He swatted that out of bounds real quick. He's clearly capable of scoring the ball. He hustles. He threw some really nice passes in this game. He He had that little dribble drive situation, then he would kick it out to Buddy Boeheim, who would stroke a nice three. So those two complement each other well, which is exciting because we're going to have those two for a couple years, I'm assuming. So really good to see that out of him. It was also very, very good to see that this team can they can dominate a basketball game without Tyus Battle having basically any production. Tyus Battle had just 2 points in this ball game, just 2 points. And this team performed at a very high level. As you know, they put up a solid 72 points without Tyus Battle. The offense was rolling. Good defense was being played. Tyus didn't get as many minutes as he usually does. The shots just weren't falling for him, which is okay because his team picked him up. And not that we don't need Tyus. Tyus is a very good player, and he's a crucial element in this basketball team. But we showed that we can pick each other up. We can mesh together as a team, and we can play at a high level even when one of our men goes down. So that was really, really good to see. That hasn't happened at all in the last 2 years, in my opinion. So that was awesome to see. Just talking about the team for a second, I think we're dealing with a very good basketball team. I still think there's so much more to come. You're going to see Frank come to 100%, and this offense is going to go through the roof once he starts driving into the lane. He's been taking a lot of threes, which is his game to an extent, but still not finding his stroke. I mean, guys, he didn't get to play for a solid month or maybe more. So still trying to get into a rhythm here, and he's going to be special when he does. This entire team's going to be special when everything comes into fruition. I'm very excited for the ACC schedule. I think that's when it's really going to all start mashing up together. This team's good. This team's very, very good. And they had an off night against Cornell, and they bounced back, and they showed they can play with anybody with a domination at Ohio State. They showed they can win on the road. Exciting things to come here in Orangeland. Guys, I'm going to send you over before we dig into the rest of our show. I'm going to send you over for a real quick video to get everyone in that Georgetown hatred mood. Let's go Orange, baby.
You played at the highest level in the NBA, but was anything there as intense as those Georgetown-Syracuse games that you played in?
No.
We're walking into legacies. You have to be fully aware of who came before you and what made it great in the first place.
Jerry Mack drops one on G-Town.
I feel the ground tremble and quake. I feel my heart sink to the pace that these raw drums make. I feel alive and awake.
Welcome to one of the great rivalries in college basketball.
Ooh, well, Dick Paparo might have pulled a flagrant foul.
Going left, they let him go. Not taking any chances. Uh-oh, he's on the court. It's going to get tossed out of here. The third one sends you out of the ballgame. He may be out of here. It's going to get tossed out of here.
He wound up. Oh, he wound up.
But he didn't hit you.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Uh-oh, and Washington and Ewing.
Speechless. Goosebumps. That's how I can describe that video to you. Goosebumps. Let me talk about my feelings for the Georgetown rivalry real quick. That video makes me just everything. As a Syracuse Orange fan, that's everything right here. But I got to tell you this. I'm only 15, right? So as long as I've really been paying attention to like this level to Syracuse athletics, it was like our last year in the Big East with Michael Carter-Williams, but it really didn't come until our first year in the ACC with Tyler Ennis. It was when I was old enough to really start paying attention. I was only in like 5th grade at that point. And so for me, this game it means as much, but it doesn't at the same time, because I didn't grow up. I know you guys are going to hate me for saying this. I didn't grow up with it as many of you people did. I didn't see it every single day as many of you guys did. And you guys are lucky for it. I wish I got to, because obviously it was something special. It was clearly just something amazing. I've gone back on YouTube and watched them, videos and stuff, but it's hard to get the same feel for me, and it makes a big difference that it's not a conference game. Jim Boeheim said this. Guys, this isn't a conference game, so it doesn't mean as much. It means as much in the sense of Boeheim wants to be Ewing. Ewing wants to be Boeheim. Rivalry game for the university and the students. Buddy Boeheim grew up hating Georgetown, as he said in his post-game press conference situation in the locker room. So it's a big game, but it's not a conference game. And I think there was more on the line when this was a conference game. In my head, and I don't know how to change this, I wish it was different, but in my head, our biggest rival for me, since I've been watching Syracuse sports vividly like this, is Duke. Because every year we've consistently played them right to the buzzer. Every year it's been a tough game against usually two ranked teams, or we're upsetting them or something. I mean, that first game when the rivalry was born in the Carrier Dome, that was nuts. It was a 12th ranked Duke team versus the number 2 Syracuse team, or they were 17th or something. It was our game to go 25-0, break the record, attendance record, go number 1 in the country, and ever since then, this rivalry's been born. And then you got the Boeheim situation at Duke. We beat them at Duke one year, the year we went to the Final Four with Benajay and Cooney and all them. Tyler Roberson, that was a great squad. Tyler Lydon, Malachi Richardson, exciting stuff. But that's, for me, that's my rivalry. I hate Duke. I always have, always will. I just despise Duke, and I cannot wait. We're playing them twice this year. Very, very excited for that. So don't hate me for that. I feel the hatred for Georgetown, but it doesn't feel the same because I wasn't around for it all, if everyone can understand that. So I'm seeing this from a different point of view as you guys. I'm just kind of hopping on the hatred bandwagon, where with Duke, I was able to formulate my own opinion on that. So if that makes any sense to you guys, I just wanted to touch upon that and make you guys aware. But nonetheless, Syracuse hosts the Georgetown Hoyas in the Carrier Dome Saturday at 3:30 p.m. The game's going to be televised on ESPN. Super excited. ESPN's giving us an 86% chance to win this ball game. 86% chance is pretty darn good. I think I just spit on the camera once. Pretty gross. I'm spewing over here. I'm getting so pumped about it. Maybe not. Never mind. All right. So, as I said, ESPN gives us an 86% chance to win. Georgetown heads into this game with a 7-1 record. They're averaging about 80 points a game. Their best win is that comes at Illinois. They won that game 88-80 on the road. Illinois, still a Big Ten school, still a Power 5 school, but they're not a very good program. I guess that's their signature win in the non-conference, unless they can somehow beat us, which, by the way, I don't think they're going to. They've played 7 of their 8 games at home in Washington, D.C., so that's kind of they haven't even played a true road game except that Illinois game, so that's a little different. And they're barely winning some of these great games. Their competition has been nothing special whatsoever. They're just playing, bum teams as always, and they're barely winning some of these games, and they lost one of them, in fact, which we'll get into in a moment. They got a pretty good 6'10" center, Jesse Govan. He's leading this team in scoring. He's shooting at he's under the rim. Obviously, he's a center. He's shooting at 60%, so he could cause a little bit of trouble, as we know. I don't want to get into it too much, as I said, but our center position, our inside, is our weakness to this basketball team, and we'll just leave it at that. Georgetown ranks 93rd in the nation defensively, allowing 75 points per game. They've allowed as high as 85 points in a regular finale or regular final, no overtime, and that was to Campbell. So not good there. As you can see, they're ranked 93rd in the nation for a reason. Their one loss on the year fell to Loyola Marymount, and that was at home at Georgetown. So, we're not dealing with a very good basketball team here. This is Patrick Ewing's just second year under head coach. This kills me. This hits me right here a little bit. The Louie and Bowie show, Lewis Orr, is Patrick Ewing's assistant coach. He basically helped formulate this rivalry, closing the Manly Zoo and everything like that. And now he's just coaching over there. So I understand everybody needs a job. It was probably a big opportunity for him, but as a Syracuse fan, that's kind of, come on now, man. But understand it. Gotta get the dough, right? This is a very, very young Georgetown team. They're very young. Sophomore Jamarco Pickett, 6'8" guard. He's averaging 7 points. As you're going to see here, they're really spreading the scoring around, besides, that one center, Jesse Govan. 6'9" senior forward, Trey Mourning. That's obviously the son of Alonzo Mourning. He's averaging 9 points a game, so good production out of him. James Janko, he's a guard. He's averaging 14 points a game, so good boost out of him. It's him and Jesse Govan really leading this team offensively. And Josh LeBlanc's averaging 9 points a game. Now, getting into it, James Janko, he's just a freshman, so this team is full of freshmen. And one of the biggest freshmen on this team is Matt McClung. Matt McClung, he's had a lot of spotlight on him, so far in the whole recruiting situation. Kid's just 6'2", not like it matters, but he's a 6'2" white guy that can dunk ridiculously. And when I say ridiculously, I mean ridiculously. So he's very, very athletic, clearly. He's averaging 9 points a game, but he could cause a problem. He can get to the hole. He's athletic enough to basically do anything on the basketball court. Very talented basketball player there that Georgetown was able to pick up in the offseason. They're saying he's a very underrated recruit. So interested to see what's going to go on there. I've watched a bunch of stuff on him on YouTube. As I said, he's had the spotlight on him quite a bit. So Matt McClung, remember that name, going into Saturday. This game's going to be interesting, in my opinion. We just got to keep their scorers in check. Same as always. This Georgetown team's really nothing special. I don't think they're going to be able to handle our zone. We play, obviously, a very stellar zone. They're not going to score as many points as they usually do. They're averaging 80. They're not going to get anywhere near that, in my opinion. Our defense is just too good, and they've yet to play a good defense, really, all season. We need to score well against them. Obviously, we got to score well against any team. You got to score well to win a basketball game. Simple as that. But we just got to keep on the good work moving. It was nice bounce back to Cornell, but you can't fall again like you did. You played great against Ohio State, fell a little bit to Cornell, bounce back now. Now we got to keep that progression going forward. You don't want to fall back, trickle back once again, because that would be inconsistent. We want more consistency. I'd love to see Battle get more involved again. We could really put up points if Battle was involved in that last game. The crowd. I think the crowd's going to be awesome in this game. Whoops. By the way, this is pretty sweet. If I can get it off the wall. Signed by Floyd Little. This year's poster. Oh, no. I knocked the nail out. I guess I'm just going to set that there. This is pretty sweet, too. That's autographed by the entire basketball team. So that's pretty cool for this year. Someday I'll give you guys a whole tour of the basement. As you can see, we got it all going on down here, really. But, what was I saying? The crowd. The crowd in this game is going to be awesome, I think. The students, I know they're on break. But I went to the Georgetown game a couple of years ago, and the students were still there, even though it was over break. And it was closer to Christmas last time as well. Just think it's going to be a packed house. A lot of Syracuse fans excited. I know I'm excited. I'm going to try and get there this weekend. Not exactly sure if I'm going to be able to just yet. But exciting stuff. I think the crowd's going to be loud, proud. Orange got the old fans coming out. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Rivalry game. It's capping off Jimmy V week. Good stuff. So, my prediction for this game is going to be a final score of Syracuse 72 and Georgetown 63. I think it's going to be close. It's the competitive spirit of a rivalry game. Our defense and our offense is just going to take over. I think we're going to dominate most of the game. Georgetown might make a late kind of comeback situation. Then we pull away towards the very end. So that's my prediction there. Syracuse comes home, or actually stays home with a dub, sends Georgetown packing. Time to destroy some Hoya. I did want to real quick. I already apologized for the Pascal situation. Just want to reiterate it one more time, guys. It was brought to my attention that I, could be a little bit easier on this team. And when you think about it, I got to be their cheerleader. This is an orange show. This is Orange Heat. We got to be their cheerleader, not their naysayer. They got plenty of people out there telling them that they stink. So we got to be their cheerleaders. I'm going to work on that. Really find my identity with that. So, let's go Orange, you know? Add the Twitter at GeoHeater, add the Instagram. It is 6:20 p.m. on December 6th, 2018. And yes, Georgetown still sucks. Woo! Let's go Orange, baby. Yeah!
Thank you for listening to Orange Heat, done by pursuing sports broadcaster and high school student Giovanni Heater. You can find him on Twitter and Instagram at GeoHeater. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more Syracuse athletics and Orange Heat action. Let's go Orange!